Howdy folks, and welcome back to this system series of Star Trek Online. My name is Winters. So for this episode we are going to focus on 50% vendor locations. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the most commonly sought after or used 50% vendors in-game currently. Doesn't matter what faction you're on, except for one or two locations. They're faction specific, but the point is that I'll be showing you all 50% vendor locations, and it doesn't matter what faction, because I'm going to show all factions. Anyway, so we're starting off at Deep Space Nine, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to beam to Deep Space Nine itself, obviously. And for anyone that doesn't know, Deep Space Nine is located in the Alpha Quadrant. It's pretty much in the bottom center of the map. But yeah, I'm sure most of you are well aware where Deep Space Nine is. Wow, this is a slow load. Right, so we're going to come out of the transporter room. It doesn't matter if you beam in or dock. If you dock, you're going to come out of here. But if we turn right, and most of you should know that this is where the bank and exchange is. If we turn around here, this is the shipyard. And this is the most commonly used 50% vendor. This guy here, ship equipment in the shipyard. And if we go to requisition, starship weapons, and then sell, we can see here that he's selling this item for, or buying this item for 240 EC. The value of it is 480 EC, so clearly he's a 50% vendor. There are a number of other vendors on Deep Space Nine that are, 50% vendors, but this is the guy that you'll most likely be coming to because he's the closest. Right, so that's Deep Space Nine. Next, we're going to beam up to our ship. And then we are going to transwarp to the Sherman system, which is Deep Space Case 7. And that is our next port of call. So altogether there are, I suppose there's going to be about between 10 and 15 different locations that I'm going to show you altogether. Should be roughly around that, 10 or 15, probably over 10, closer to 15. So we dock at Deep Space K7. Okay, and if we take a left here and then another left, we're going to go down towards the shipyard. And I have to try and remember exactly where each of these guys are. I hope I remember all of them. I should be able to find them if I can't remember. So this guy here, requisitions ship equipment in the shipyard, is the 50% vendor. We'll just confirm it real quick. 240, 480, correct. Alright, so that is the 50% vendor on Deep Space Case 7. So our next one that we're going to go to is, let's see, Drazona Station, because it is the closest. So we'll leave the sector. Okay, we open up the map and we're going to Drazona Station. Alright, let's kick in slipstream, speed it up a little bit. Right, now we dock with Dozana.
Welcome to Jorzan.
Okay, so we come out of the transporter room, we take a left, we take another left, and we're in the bar area now. We take a right, and we're heading basically straight up to the bar. It doesn't matter which one of these guys you talk to, either the bartender or Beelan. Either one will do, and we'll just confirm 50% vendor, 240, 480, yep. So yeah, either one here. It doesn't matter. You can talk to Beelan or you can talk to the bartender. Both of them are 50% vendors. Okay, so that is Drozana Station. Next, we are going to move on to Earth Space Dock. I've probably shown you this one before in other series and videos that I've done, but we'll just include it in this episode or this video as well, just in case. Let's see, can I transwarp yet? Not quite yet, but almost. Right, let's leave this sector. And we'll set course for Earth Space Dock, which is up here. Right, so while we're on the way, I'll show you the galaxy map. So we started off down here at Deep Space Nine. Alright, so this is the Alpha Quadrant, okay, and we started off down here. So you can see what I mean by bottom center is where Deep Space Nine is. Then we transwarped and we came over here to, let's go to Beta Quadrant, to Deep Space K7, and we just left Drozana Station. And now we're going up to Earth Space Dock up here. So just to get an idea of where we are, there's Deep Space K7, there's Drozana, and there's ESD. Right. Can we? Not quite yet. We can slipstream though. We'll slipstream, we'll speed it up. What speed am I doing actually? 32.13. That's not a bad slipstream. That's pretty good. Oh, look at that. We're nearly there. Fantastic. Of course, we'll arrive there just as our transport becomes available. We should see Sol System. There's Sol System right there. That little black dot. Okay, let's enter Sol System. Okay, we will dock with ESD. Actually, I just thought of something. I wasn't going to include Starfleet Academy, but I probably should. That mightn't be a bad idea. Yeah, I think I'll include Starfleet Academy. I didn't plan on originally showing that one, but I think I'll show it anyway, just in case. I probably should have went there first. Doesn't matter. Right, so we're leaving the transporter room. We're taking a left, and we're going straight down this little walkway. We're going to requisitions. This is the requisitions area, see here? And we're taking a slight left and we're going into personal equipment. and we're talking to this vendor here, Ensign Less or Lessa. Same thing, requisition awaiting weapons, go to sell tab, 240, and the item is 480. So there's the 50% vendor for there. Right, let's go down to Starfleet Academy. So this is a little shorter way from where we were to get down to Starfleet Academy. Never puts you in the place that you want to be. Anyway, right, so we're out on the grounds here. We are going into building number 1, which is up here, where that ensign just came out, and we're taking a right, we're turning in, going left, and basically we're going to the 602 Club, and we're going to talk to the bartender there for the 602 Club. 602 Club bartender. And we go to sell and we confirm, yep, 240, 480. There's the 50% vendor for Starfleet Academy. Right, let's beam up to our ship. We'll go back out to the base quadrant for this one. Even though it's not that far away from us, I think we're going to take our transwarp option this time, and we're going to Starbase 39er Sierra. So we'll just transwarp there, even though it's not that far away. Okay, so we have to head down to the actual starbase here before we can dock with it. Beam down to the station. Okay, so we're coming out of the transporter room, and we're basically just walking around the station. To the very end, or damn close to the very end anyway. There are, if I remember correctly, there are 2 vendors here on the station. We'll just double check that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 vendors here. One of them is this guy, Lieutenant Morin, requisition awaiting weapons, 240, 480, yep, so he is a 50% vendor. This dude right here. Now we continue on into the shipyard, and I believe this guy here, Ensign Jessic, is a 50% vendor as well, if memory serves correctly. He is indeed. He is indeed. Excellent. So there's the 2 50% vendors on Starbase 39er Sierra. Right, let's beam up to our ship again. We'll leave the system. Right, now we are going to plot a course for Nimbus 3. Transwarp 32.12. Sweet! How's our transwarp? 2 minutes left, okay. And here we are at Nimbus. Okay, so we just select the option to beam down to Nimbus 3. Okay, so we're going into Paradise City, and we're heading for the bar, basically, which is straight in front of us. You can see here from the Undiscovered, not the Undiscovered Country, from the Final Frontier movie. You all should recognize that. And we're going talking to the bartender. Bartenders seem to be usually, not always, but usually 50% vendors. And as you can see, again, this guy is in fact a 50% vendor. So there's the 50% vendor on Nimbus. Right, let's beam back up to our ship. Our next port of call is Dyson Joint Command. I'm hoping that our transwarp will be off cooldown, actually. But if not, it's not the end of the world. Oh crap, I meant to check the transwarp, not warp out the system. Blonde moment. Okay, let's just plot a course for the Dyson Gateway, and we'll check now. Yeah, there's still a minute left on it. Okay, so we were originally at Deep Space Nine, which was here, and then we came over to Deep Space K7, which is here, down to Drozana, up to Earth Space Dock, across then to Starbase 39er Sierra, up to Nimbus 3, and now we're going down to the Dyson Sphere Gateway. Well, slipstream down there now. There are two locations that we're going to go to in here, but you will see those in due course. Should be nearly there. Yep, we're nearly there. We're only a couple of light years away. Maybe about 10 or 12. Still doing overwarp 10, aren't we? We are 12.84. That's pretty good. There is the Dyson Sphere Gateway. Right, so we'll have a couple of different options here to take different, Dyson spheres. We're going for the Solenoid Dyson Sphere. That's where we're heading. So we want this one here, Solenoid Dyson Sphere. You have an option to the Gamma Quadrant, the Delta Quadrant, which the Delta Quadrant is the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere. This is another gateway in the Gamma Quadrant. You unlock this after playing the mission, I want to say Home. You unlock that option, or it might be part of the Gamma Quadrant rep. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to the Solenoid Dyson Sphere. That's where we're heading. Right. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I think I remember where the next guy is. Okay, so now we're going to kick into full impulse. We're going to turn to the right. This is Dyson Joint Command. So we're just getting a bit closer so that we can beam into Dyson Joint Command. We'll see a little option pop up down here in a minute. There it is, beam to Joint Command. So another map change. Right, and we just want to go straight out from where we beam in, and this ship equipment vendor should be the 50% vendor for this location. And yep, we can see there that he is indeed. So there's a 50% vendor for Dyson Joint Command. We return to ship, and our next port of call is going to be the Dyson Ground Battle Zone, which is also located in here in the Solenoid Dyson Sphere. we're actually doubling back on ourselves now, but we have to go back to the same spot where we came into the Dyson sphere, to the solenoid Dyson sphere. We're going back here. Because once we get here, we will have an option then to take a shuttle to the Dyson ground battle zone. There we are, ground battle zone shuttle, and we accept that. Okay, so it's pretty much straight in front of us. In fact, it's right beside Commander Arnold. You may remember this is Commander Arnold, where you get your missions for the Dyson ground battle zone. We want to select this battle zone supplier, access battle zone supplies. We go to the sell tab, and once again we can see that this guy is in fact a 50% vendor. Okay, so that is Dyson Sphere. We've done Dyson Joint Command and the Dyson Ground Battle Zone. Our next protocol is the Delta Quadrant Command Center in the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere. So we warp out of here, and this is going to bring us back to the Beta Quadrant. And instead of selecting the solenoid Dyson Sphere this time, we're going to select the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere, which is going to bring us to the Delta Quadrant. Right, so that's the one that we just picked, but we want to go to the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere, which is going to bring us to the Delta Quadrant, so that's the one we're going to take. Right, and now we just have to actually go into the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere, so we enter is the option that we're going to pick. Right, and now we beam to Delta Quadrant Command. Okay, so once you beam in, just go straight ahead, go through the corridor that's directly in front of you, and follow that around. Once you exit this corridor, you take a slight left here, and you're going into the shipyard area, basically. You can see all the different ship things here, Taylor, ship vendor, and we're going to this ship equipment vendor, this dude here. And we requisition starship weapons, go to the sell tab. Once again, we can see he is in fact a 50% vendor. So that's the 50% vendor for the Dyson Joint Command. Right, let's return to our ship. We are going to leave the Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere and go back out to the Delta Quadrant. Once there, we'll plot a course to Kabali Prime, and we'll show you the 50% vendor that is located on Kabali. And after that then, let's see, exit, yeah, this is the one we want. After that then, we are going to switch character and show you some of the faction specific ones. So locations that only Klingons can get to, and then locations that only Romulans can get to. Right, so Kabali Prime, plot a course for there. Kick in slipstream, we'll open up the map just to give you guys some bearings. Alright, so this is where we transwarped in, or came into Jem'Hadar Dyson Sphere. We just left there, and this is Kabali down here, this one. And enter Kabali system. Coming near the end of this now. What are we doing? About 5 or 10 roughly locations. Alright, let's beam down. Yeah, this would be about 11, wouldn't it? Anyway, when you beam in, go straight up, take a right, and this guy here, the Quartermaster, is the guy that you want to talk to. Go to the Cell tab, once again, 50% vendor, you can see that clearly there. So that is the 50% vendor that is on Kabali Prime. Not very hard to find him. He's pretty much like right on your footstep as soon as you come in. Right, we are going to change character. And this time we are going to load up a Klingon character, and we are going to show you the 50% vendor on Kronos. Okay, so we are starting in the bank, mail and exchange area, so we leave there and we start walking up towards the Great Hall, not the Guays. So the Great Hall is in there to our right. We're going to take on the left. Transporter room is down this way, and we're going over towards where the tailor is. There's actually a mail terminal there as well. But anyway, this chick here, requisition personal equipment and requisition awaiting weapons, if we check, we can see it is in fact a 50% vendor. So that's the 50% vendor that most people use on Kronos. Right, now we are going to go to the transporter room because I showed you guys where the 50% vendor was on Starfleet Academy, so I may as well show you for Klingon Academy as well, even though actually I can't remember. We'll find him. We'll find him. Alright, transporter chief. Go down to the Academy. Right, I'm going to go straight down here, because I think he's down here. God, I'll hate it if I'm wrong. Oh wait, no. Forgot about these dudes here. I think one of these is the 50% vendor. Negotiate a deal. Sell. Alright, it's not him. He's not 50%. How about this chick? This chica? Yes, alright. This one is a 50% vendor. So, Lieutenant Biora, it looks like. Lieutenant Biora. So this is where, down there is where the bank mail and exchange access is. You can also recruit duty officers down there. There's a little fighting area. The Orion is up there for the personnel. This is where the Gorn and Nausicaan recruitments are. That is where the History 101 stuff is. So this is where the 50% vendor is. Just trying to give you some bearings on where the 50% vendor is. That's it right there. Let's just go down and check real quick, but I don't think there is another one down here. Yeah, no, there isn't. I know already before we even get down here. Yeah, there's just the duty officer vendors. Yep, okay. We'll beam up. We're going to the Beta Quadrant, and our next port of call is going to be Ganalda Station. So, Deep Space K7 can only be visited by Federation or Federation-aligned characters. And let me just set course here first. Ganalda Station is the equivalent of Deep Space K7 on the KDF side. So if your character is either KDF or KDF aligned, you won't be able to get to Deep Space K7, but you will be able to get to Ganalda Station. There's K7, and there's Ganalda, there's Kronos, just to give you some bearings on where it is. Actually, look, we're almost there. Alright, go to the Ganalda system, not station, system. Okay, so we done Kronos, we done Klingon Academy, and this is Ganalda. All the others, with the exception of Deep Space K7 and ESD and Starfleet Academy, you can get to as a Klingon character. Actually, wait a minute. Starbase 39 or Sierra, you probably can't get to as a Klingon character. Yeah, but all the others you can. Anyway, we're coming out of the transporter room, we're taking a left, we're going down to the shipyard, just the very same as you would in Deep Space K7 actually. And I want to say it's this guy, if memory serves correctly. Sell... Yes, indeed, it is. This is the 50% vendor for Ganalda Station. Excellent. Right, okay, so that's the Klingon-specific 50% vendors. We're going to change characters again, and this time we're going to pick a Romulan character. And there's actually only 2 more locations that I have to show you. And that will complete this episode. Right, so we load up this guy. Right, so it looks like we're starting off in the flotilla. To give you guys an idea where the flotilla is, we go to Beta Quadrant. There's the Dyson Sphere Gateway. Here's Kronos. And we're here, Romulan Flotilla. And there's New Romulus. Okay, so we're on the Romulan Flotilla. So anyway, we turn right. We're going through this corridor here, so we take a left. And we take a right and then another left, and we're going to talk to this dude here. Requisition starship weapons, and yes, a 50% vendor. There is another 50% vendor on the station. If I open up the map and we zoom in, so this is where we are. This is where we were. We came up here, turned left, turned right, turned left, and came in. If we go down here and take a right in here, this ground equipment vendor is also a 50% vendor. So you've got a choice of 2 different 50% vendors on the Romulan Flotilla. Just, you know, nice to know. Right, we're going to beam up to our ship, and we're going to set course for the final location, which is New Romulus Command Center. Right, so we're plotting a course for New Romulus. Which is right beside us. So, the Romulan Flotilla and New Romulus Command Center can be reached or visited only by Romulan characters. If you are a Federation, a Klingon, or a Jem'Hadar, you cannot get to New Romulus Command Center. You can get to New Romulus, but you can't get to the Command Center. Now, New Romulus itself does not have a 50% vendor, at least not as far as I know, and I've searched it before. But the Command Center does, alright? So here we have the option, beam to Command Center, beam to Embassy, or beam to New Romulus. Any player can get to New Romulus, but only Romulans can get to the Command Center, and that's where the 50% vendor is. Okay, so just important to keep that in mind. You know, like, I don't want somebody to go to New Romulus going, oh, well, I seen in Winter's video that, you know, there was a 50% vendor. Yes, there is, but it's only available to Romulan characters. Anyway, we come into the main lobby, we take a left. We're going down this corridor here, we go left, we go right. And we take the first right, and we go past these vendors here, and this is the one that we want. Away team equipment. Requisition away team weapons, and we go to sell, and once again we can see this one is actually a 50% vendor. Right, that's it. All of those are the most commonly used 50% vendors throughout the entire game currently. All the information contained in this episode should be valid for many years to come. I've explained to you guys the differences between the factions, and like Klingons or Romulans. Klingons or Klingon aligned characters cannot get to Case 7, ESD, Starbase 39 or Sierra, the Starfleet Academy. But likewise, Federation or Federation-aligned characters cannot get to Kronos, they can't get to Klingon Academy, and they can't get to Ganalda Station. Only Romulan characters can get to the flotilla and to New Romulus Command Center. Anyway, listen, thanks a million for watching, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And as always, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. My name is Winters, and I'll catch you next time. So until then, take care.